show going on right now. Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, so let's get this thing cracking. All right, because we got an interesting show for all of you today. Right, we're going to talk about Barron Trump and World War III. Okay, now there's some significant importance to this particular topic. Obviously, this particular topic right now is what is trending across the internet right now, right? And so I couldn't help myself but talk about this particular subject. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this particular subject is because, well, it's a very controversial topic. He says, holy crap, you're here right away. I tell you what, man, this one is a spontaneous one, and I wanted to get this out there, so here it is, right? The topic of today, Barron Trump, World War III. Should Barron Trump be drafted? I told you guys, during the Iraq War, okay, during the insurgency, the biggest soundtrack to many of the American troops was 50 Cent's music. Okay, Green Day also, right? If you remember that song by Green Day, Call Me When September Ends. If you look at that video, it was a video with American troops in Iraq, right? So that was basically the premise of the war on terror era. It was Green Day, and then it was 50 Cent. He says, can we hear you sing a verse, please? What, till September ends? No, brother, listen. You know, you're not going to catch me doing that. That's one side of my Filipino side that you're not going to catch me doing. If you know anything about Filipinos, bro, they love karaoke. I think Asians in general, they love karaoke. The British also love karaoke. Which is why Tyson Fury is having the time of his life right now, getting ready in Thailand, right? He's training in Thailand, and, well, he's probably out there doing a little bit of some karaoke with the Thais, right? You know, as soon as he's done training, he'll probably go to the bar, hang out at the bar, and then, you know, just sing a whole bunch of songs, right? You know, this dude, man, Tyson Fury was running around Thailand. The brother was running around Thailand with his boombox, playing My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. I'm like, man, what kind of troll is this dude? Like, out of all things, you're going to, oh my God, man, My Heart Will Go On. Bro, let me tell you, man, if I'm going to be running, if I'm going to be doing road work with a boombox on, man, you better believe I'm rocking some 50 Cent, I'm rocking some Tupac, I'm rocking some Stupid Young, I'm rocking some Mozzie. You know, by the way, live to you from Sacramento, California, represent. That's what I'm going to be rocking with. I'm not going to be rocking no Celine Dion, but whatever. It is Tyson Fury and what he likes, so, you know, so be it. He says, what are you saying? Omar says, I'm talking about Tyson Fury doing his road work in Thailand while playing My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. He says, where are you from? Where are you from, buddy? I am from Sacramento, California, represent, my man. He says, I thought you walked out to the Backstreet Boys. Oh, stop it, man. Stop it, bro. Quit playing games with my heart. Man, look out of here with that whack shit, man. Come on. You know, back in those days, if you remember, Eminem, you know, absolutely dissed the living ish out of the Backstreet Boys, out of NSYNC. You know, and then he was criticized for a while. He's like, well, you know, you're going after boy bands, but you never go after any real hardcore rappers. And then next thing you know, he goes after Ja Rule because of a beef that he inherited through 50 Cent. Then next thing you know, he got that beef with Benzino. And now he got that beef with MGK. MGK, your fellow Ohio guy, Marty. You know, he absolutely destroyed MGK and clowned him. You know, absolutely destroyed him. And MGK is supposed to be the new white rapper into the scene, right? And Eminem was like, hey, listen, man, I'd rather be the 80-year-old me than the 20-year-old you. And then just absolutely smashed him up to bits and pieces with that. Amit says, have a good one. Shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you. All right, so the main topic that we're going to talk about today is World War III. As we take a look at the capital of Sacramento right now, this is where I'm from, ladies and gentlemen. Sacramento, California represent. I get to drive this beautiful bridge every day. I was going to say beach, but that's a little bit 1 hour away from where I'm at right now. But yes, we have beautiful beaches here too. But here in Sacramento, we got some beautiful rivers, okay? And we got some beautiful scenery out here on top of that, right? Beautiful river right there, the Sacramento American River. The American River, okay? The American River. And right up there, look, that's Gavin Newsom's office right there. Check it out, right there. Gavin Newsom's office. There it is, man. Possibly the next president of the United States, because guess what, man? A lot of people right now are very much upset at Donald Trump for what he is doing right now, okay? He is right now at a low approval rate, and you know what? That's a given, okay? When you are leaving as president, your final term, you're not going to be highly desired, okay? You are not going to be highly liked. And then on top of that, you're also never going to do the things that you said you were going to do in your campaign, which is becoming anti-war. Now, is Donald Trump anti-war right now? No, he is not. He is anything but anti-war. In fact, he is the biggest warmongerer in the world right now, whether you like it or not. Right? Some people like it, some people don't. Hey, you know, that is for your own consumption and your own take of whether you're going to accept that or not. Let me read some of these comments right here. He says, you look like you slept well and look very healthy with your skin. Thank you, my man. You know what it is? It's the fasting, right? It's the fasting and then the constant consumption of water. I think I drink more water during Ramadan than I do not in Ramadan, because at the hours that I'm allowed to drink, man, I drink a lot of water because I'm afraid that if I'm going to be mobbing around during the day. Look at this. Look at this. Hey, move your dog, lady. Come on. It's green light. Move. Let's go. I got a show to run here. Yeah, let's go, baby. But yes. Oh, look at this. We got a little ICE protest going on here. What's going on here? Be careful, guys.
Thank you.
Be careful. Yeah, baby. Woo! Yes. I'm telling you, live content. Live content. And not only that, it is just spontaneous, just like this live stream that we're doing right now. Let me roll my window down so the whole world can hear me talk. That's right, baby. That is right. He says, don't freaking say that. He says, lots of crimes in Sacktown. Man, I tell you what, man, I don't know nothing about it. I don't know no crime that goes on here. You know what I mean? I don't know nothing about no crimes that go on in Sacramento. You know, that's all I gotta say about that. Yeah, hey, you know what? Let's get the window open right now. There it is, the old mansion right there, right? So, okay, man, do you guys remember the song? Do you remember the song? It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no senator's son. Remember that song, right? By, I forgot the name, Clearance Day Water or something, right? It's a 1970s band. But anyways, that song is, what is it? It's basically about, you know, if you're a son of a senator, right, you're basically exempt from war, right? So that is the question right there, right? Should Barron Trump, okay, being that he's the president's son, 6'7", soccer standout at that, right? Should he be drafted into war? Should he be drafted into war? And that is the question that we are going to ask around here. Look at this. We got some senators and some state assemblymen out here. And then you got some people out here right now. Yup. All right, man. So, yeah, we're getting cracking right now. Yes. So what do you guys think? Should he be drafted into war? And my answer to that is yes. I absolutely think he should. You know what? I always say this, right? A lot of people give shtick for Prince Harry. They give Prince Harry a lot of shtick because, you know what, he is, you know, the prince, and his father is a king, and his brother is going to be the future king of England. But let me tell you, man, you got to give that boy credit, okay? Because that boy went to war. He served the British Army. Not only that, he was a helicopter fighter pilot on top of that. So you got to give respect to that guy. He did his thing, and that's the reality of it, right? But whereas, you know, over here, it seems that we have more of a monarchy than England actually does, right? It seems that in England, they actually follow due process. Unlike us here in America right now, there's not a lot of due process going on right now. It just seems like we're a country that is revolved around Trump's feelings, okay? And let me tell you, man, I'm sure a lot of you guys, now, personally, I didn't vote, okay? I didn't vote, and I know you guys are probably thinking, well, you know what, you didn't vote, so, you know, you have no stake in the game, and guess what? You who voted, you don't got no stake in the game. You want to know why? Because I understand why you guys voted for Trump. I completely understand it, okay? And the reason why you guys voted for Trump is because you did not want somebody that was going to be highly emotional. You didn't want an emotional bitch in office, okay? That's what you didn't want. But in return, you know what you got? You got somebody that was way more emotional than Kamala Harris, and I hate to freaking say it. Donald Trump is far more emotional than Kamala Harris, and he's showing it. He's showing his cards right now. You got to excuse me if I'm not able to read the comments right away, okay? So please stay tuned. I will read your comments as soon as there is a red light going on here, and we will address your comment, but let me cook for a second, right? So, Barron Trump, more than capable of passing the exam in a DEP program. Okay, the DEP program is what you would call the departure program for when you get recruited into the armed forces, right? Whether that would be the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force, et cetera, right? So with that in mind, what you have going on is a situation where he is physically fit, and half of America is literally fat, okay? Half of America could not pass. You know what? Forget half of America. We're talking about 75% of America. They will not be able to pass the requirements, the physical requirements it takes to be in the military. Okay? They will not be able to pass that at all. You know what I mean? And the reason why they're not going to be able to pass that is because look at this. Look how fat America is. I'm going to show you how fat America has gotten right here. Look at this. Look at this. Fat people everywhere. Fat this, fat that. Look at that. There's a Coca-Cola sign right there. Obviously, it's an old 1950s Coca-Cola sign, but the Coca-Cola of today is far worse. Okay, that guy's not fat, but okay, you know what? It's a little bit different if you are in, you know, in a transient situation and whatnot, right? But yes, that is a situation here. So, Ali Khan says there won't be a draft. Pretty much, everyone has nuclear weapons. You're right about that. You're right about that. There are no drafts, okay? And here's the thing about this, Ali Khan. Most people don't understand that there's plenty of people in the United States that are willing to volunteer. Plenty of people, okay? There will always be Americans that are willing to put their lives on the line because that is the American spirit in a nutshell, okay? Americans love to fight. That is our national spirit, is that we love to fight. But the thing is, what are you fighting for? You see, in World War II, the Japanese and the Germans were the clear bad guys, or were they? Or were they? But at least during that time, it seemed pretty clear that everybody was on the same page, okay? Everybody was on the same page in terms of, hey, you know what? We're going to fight the Germans. We're going to fight the Nazis. And as a result of that, that is going to be our opponent. That is going to be our adversary, and these are the reasons why. And for the most part, we had a lot of people that sort of agreed with that particular fight. And here's the thing, a lot of people are not going to like to hear me say this, but the reason why America in World War II was a lot more cohesive than they were in Vietnam, as opposed and right now during the modern times, is because, let's be honest about this, America was a white majority country at that time, okay? It was a white majority country, so it was easy for people to say, you know what, let's go fight the German Nazis, even though they love people like us, right? Even though they love white people and things of that nature, right? They were willing to fight the Americans because the Americans still had a shred of diversity, right? And then the Japanese, once the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, it was all hands on deck from that point. Ali Khan, he says, yeah, that area looks like Ohio. Oh, which one? Which area? The area that we just drove past by right now looks like Ohio. Which city in Ohio, Marty? I know that Ohio has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think I stopped by there back in the early 2000s and all of that, right? Yeah, early 2000s or so. Yeah, early 2000s, I remember going there. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame it was, you know, in Cleveland, I believe. He says, where you were driving through, looking. Oh, okay, yes, okay. So let me read some of these comments. Gallo says, wait, who said there would be a draft? All I heard was there wouldn't be a draft. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. Look, I wrote the draft part as basically, I mean, let's be honest about this, a little bit of some clickbait, right? Now that you're here, I'm here to tell you there is no draft, and the reason why there is no draft is because you will always have plenty of Americans that are willing to get down on the get down. You know what I'm saying? We're a very violent society. I don't know if you guys understand that, right? In comparison to the Gulf Arab states, okay, which I've been to, you know, in other parts of Europe, which I've been to, and in some parts of Asia, well, not all parts of Asia, but, you know, for the most part, we're a very violent society. We love violence, okay? And that includes all Americans. All Americans love violence. The blacks love violence, the whites love violence, the Asians love violence. Heck, the Asians that I know definitely love violence. You know what I mean? Shout outs to the Asian boys. But yeah, they love violence. The Latinos love violence. They definitely love violence. You know what I mean? Especially down south of the border. So I hope I'm not offending anybody when I tell you that we as Americans, as a mixed society, we absolutely love us some violence, right? So with that in mind, if you're a violent society, you're either going to be a couple of things. You're either going to be a soldier, you're either going to be a gangbanger, or you're either going to be a cop, or you're either going to be a combination of all those things, or probably one of those things at one time in your life. So you wonder why I'm a violent person, because I freaking love violence. I love it. That's why I have an MMA channel, because I love violence. God damn it, I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it. But guess what? That is the reason why I joined the military. Okay, maybe now I have a little bit of some. Let me put the windows up so you guys can hear me clearly. Maybe now I may have certain reservations about it, because now, you know, obviously I'm a Muslim. You know, I may have a different attitude on certain world wars, right? As opposed to when you're 18, you know, you're strong. I mean, I'm still strong, but you know what I mean. Like, you're just really idealistic and piss full of vinegar and all of that. You know, you're really down to get down on the get down and do whatever it takes to do the job for what you signed up for. But then as you get older, and as many vets they've seen when they get older, they start to kind of have, you know, different reservations for these things, right? They sort of start getting a different, you know, he says, what are your predictions on this weekend? Ali Khan says, oh, I did not know you had a kid. Yeah, man, you know, again, you know, I don't talk about my family life. There's just certain things I don't talk about. Let's be honest, right? There's a lot of creeps out there. I hope you guys understand that, right? And I'm just not the type of guy to share my family life with everybody. Now, look, there are people in this chat that, you know, I would consider, you know, real homies of mine. If, let's say, you know, you were to meet me in real life, or if maybe you've already met me in real life, or I know you personally for over the years and you watch the show, right? So yes, obviously, I wouldn't mind, having you guys come over. Hey, this is my family, this is my kid, this is this and that. But other than that, man, I'm not here to ultimately share my family life to anybody, because ultimately that's going to lead you into some real troubling territories in people, let's say, using that against you. Next thing you know, you got beef with someone and they say X, Y, and Z about your kid. Next thing you know, somebody says something about your wife and your children and this and that, and you don't want to put them in that situation. So therefore, that is the reason why I refrain from talking about those things. But yes, Marty is definitely right about that, right? He says, yeah, I see victory, but that's good, brother. It's a blessing. Yes. He says, I understand social media is dangerous. That's right, man. And you know what? As Muslims, we're very private about our family life, as we should. Let me ask you something, right? A lot of people don't know that Khabib is married. A lot of people don't know Khamzat is married. A lot of people don't know that Islam Makhachev is married. But guess what? They are. They live a normal conservative life. If you think about any conservative, like any conservative talking head in America, it's a little bit different, because American conservatism is a little bit different than Islamic conservatism, right? So, we tend to keep things a little bit more private, and as a result of that, that's what it is, guys. I'm going to take you with me to Trader Joe's. I'm going to do a little bit of, actually, I'm just going to, buy one item, and that's it, yeah. But anyways, all right, I am going to jaywalk in the middle of my live stream. All right, let me know if they'll buffer in right now. Sorry, I had a bit of some All right, are we good now? Okay, I think we're good right now. All right, awesome. We are back, guys. Sorry, we had a bit of some buffering issues right there. Let me read this comment right here by Richard Brink, if I didn't read your comment earlier. Richard Brink says, why would anyone be drafted? We have the strongest military without conscripts, and those in the military who don't agree, why don't you enlist? Richard Brink, I don't need, you know what? I've already done that. But that's a story for another time. I'm not the main topic of discussion here, right? You're right. I agree with you. There doesn't need to be any draft. I agree. Draft is not something that you need right now. As I was telling you guys earlier, America is a very violent place. We have a lot of violent people. We absolutely have a lot of violent people here. And sometimes some of them fall through the cracks. They become gang members. They become serial killers. They become criminals. And then some actually move on and become military people. Some become cops. Some become firefighters, right? Just people that look for any type of adventure of any kind. This is the reality of life. So yes, I agree. We don't need a draft in the United States. I basically just said the draft thing because it was clickbaitish. And not only that, it's a topic of discussion right now. Forget clickbait. A lot of people want Barron Trump to get drafted. But the thing is, that's not going to happen because Barron Trump is not only a millionaire son, he's a billionaire son. And you know that Creedence Clearwater song, it ain't me, I ain't no senator's son. Yeah, so there it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, understand that. That is where we are at right now. So yeah. So I'm sure it's not buffering anymore right now. So Okay, so it looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. There's no buffering of any kind right now, so all right. Yeah, you never know. Certain areas put me in, like, you know, a buffer zone or something. You know what I mean? That's kind of what happens when you are live streaming, you know, live out there while you're, you know, while you're in the field. You know what I mean? You guys seen me, you know, kind of live stream in the studio, but this time I'm in the field, so here we are, man. Jack's Urban Eats right there on 20th Street in Capitol. And then right in front of us is the Capitol right here, the Capitol building. It's a lot of trees that are kind of blocking it right here. So all right, here we go. That's the Capitol right there. See? Where all the decisions are made in California. All right, so let me read some of these comments right up top right here. He says, what are your predictions for this weekend? I haven't looked at the fights that are coming up this weekend. Who's even the main event this weekend? Yes, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. He says, oh, okay. You read up here. Wait, who said there would be a draft? Okay, we read that part. He said, no need for soldiers. They have missiles. Facts. That is true, Ali Khan. They definitely have missiles, right? And they're definitely using that. He says Newsom is a rat even for political standards. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, Newsom is not exactly... Yeah, he says it looks beautiful and the weather too. What is the temperature? Is it... it's 62 out here, Sean Boy. Yeah, like 62 degrees right now, so... all right, Cole Old says, we are Team Iran here. Okay, explain to me why you are Team Iran, right? Because I'm not, right? Now, here's the thing, right? I understand that people are upset with Israel. Completely understand, right? But as a Sunni Muslim male, I can never get down with Iran. There's a lot of religious reasons as to why I can't get down with Iran. One of them is for the simple fact that, well, let me explain to you the difference between Sunni and Shia, right? The difference between Sunni and Shia is that we have a firm belief in the companions of the Prophet Muhammad and their righteousness, right? We thought that they're righteous people. Whereas with the Shias, they tend to believe that the companions of the Prophet Muhammad were bandits, they were thieves, they were criminals. And at one point in their lives, that was true. Until they made tawbah to Allah, right? Tawbah in Arabic means repentance, right? So, but the Shias, they speak a lot of horrible things about the Sunnis, about the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, and sometimes even the family of the Prophet Muhammad, right? So, peace be upon him. So that right there is where we kind of differ with the Shias. That is the difference between us and the Shias, that is where we differ. So that right there is a contentious reason as to why we are in conflict with them in the first place. But yeah, explain to me, Cole, why you are Team Iran. What makes you Team Iran? What is your basis behind why you are pro-Iran? And yeah, and give us your reasons as to why. Yeah, give us your reasons. Why are you pro-Team Iran? We want to know that. Because I'll tell you what, man, there are a lot of people out there that are, okay, he says Iran supports the Palestinians. Well, here's the thing, right? When you say that the Arab Gulf states also support Palestinians as well, maybe not as outwardly as you would like them to be, but I see what you're saying, right? The Palestinian plight, I think, is the main reason why I think a lot of people are in support of Iran. So I can understand where you're coming from. He says more than any other Islamic country. That's true. I think the other Islamic countries heavily rely on tourism, heavily rely on their allied partnership with the United States, which in turn, it means they also have to give respect to their Israeli counterparts. But I gotta tell you, the majority of the people in the Gulf are not with Israel, okay? If you get down on the ground level with people from the Gulf, they absolutely hate Israel with a passion. I promise you that. I promise you that in the Gulf states, the majority of the people hate Israel. The reason why the majority of people hate Israel in the Gulf states, obviously, it has something to do with the Palestinians, right? That's clearly obvious. That is clearly obvious. But at the same time, the government, on the other hand, when you're talking about the Gulf Arab countries, well, they tend to side with Israel and America for the most part. You know, and that's kind of where a lot of this gets really weird. So, yeah. Look at this. All the politicians are out today. Out here in Sacramento, guys. so let me know in the comment section below, guys. I know there's not a draft going on, and I don't think they're going to have a draft going because, like what I said, there's enough people that are willing to volunteer. But what about Barron Trump? Should he join the war efforts? Because, well, it's his dad that's perpetuating this war, is it not? It's his dad that is telling everybody, hey, you know, you need to get behind this. And hey, you know what? Some people are going to have to, you know, sort of pass away, right? And, you know, in the most kind ways that I could say it. Ali Khan says, Kola, of course, they were the only one to stand up against Israel. Yes, this is a very common sentiment for a lot of people. Ali Khan says Iran was the only one who stood against oppression. All right, I want to address that real quick, okay? The Sunni world has a completely different opinion on this particular matter that may be opposite of many of you conspiracy theorists out there, right? Let me explain what I mean by that, okay? The Sunni world has been terrorized by Shia militias across Iraq, across Syria, and maybe even across Yemen, although it seems that it is the Sunnis that are more in the aggressive side of things than, let's say, the Shias, okay, that seem to be on the defense of things, because it is obvious that Saudi Arabia is the one that is supporting the Sunni government of Yemen. So keep in mind, when the Shias took over Iraq, it was a serious problem for the Sunnis that were in that region, okay? And the reason why it was a problem for the Sunnis was because now it was the Shias that were in power. After Saddam, by the way, a Sunni, regardless of the fact that, you know, you can say, all right, he wasn't the most religious guy there was, by the end of the day, he was still a Sunni. And he allowed power to reign over the other groups, right? So it was a Sunni-dominated state. That was until the Shias came in there. And then when the Shias came in there, they were doing all types of violating actions towards the Sunnis. Okay, we're talking about raping, we're talking about killing, we're talking about kidnapping people from their families, all types of things, okay? So understand, I get that people say, all right, you know, it's Iran that, you know, that fought against oppression. But if you ask the Sunni world, they're going to have a different opinion on this matter. Okay, their opinion on this matter is going to vary from yours to theirs. And that's just really what it comes down to. So I get it. I get and understand that that is how you see things. But by the end of the day, the Sunnis view Iran in a completely different light. In a very different light. Let me read this comment right here. What did my man here say? He says, brother, respectfully, I go to Iraq almost every year for ziyarat. Okay, there is a respect even right now between different religions living there. Now even Christians, the Assyrians. Okay, that's I'm not saying that's not true, but keep in mind, right? One of the biggest reasons why a lot of people joined ISIS in Iraq was because of what a lot of the Shias were doing in that part of the world, okay? So that's something you really got to understand, right? That's kind of, you know, a factor that not a lot of people, you know, sort of talk about. You know what I mean? So, you know, that right there is a factor. So I get it. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, man, you know, people have, you know, sort of a different view on that, you know, on that particular topic. So, you know, that's just something to keep in mind. I get what you're saying, but man, when they look at Iran, when a lot of Sunnis look at Iran, they see them as sort of the facilitator of these Shia-dominated oppressions that have, you know, befallen upon them. Check this out right here. Right, the Sacramento River right here. So how often do you go to Iraq, Ali Khan? He says, sorry, I thought it was cut out. No. I think what happened was that, you know, when I'm at a certain zone, I think it just kind of buffers out. So, you know, so unfortunately, yeah, it kind of, you know, was lagging for a little bit. But yeah, we're back on it now. You know what I'm saying? So look, there's some people here with the scooters, you know what I'm saying, just scootering around. You know, there's the hotel right there, the famous hotel right in front of us. You know, just folks walking up and down here. Clean, safe water, as they say. While the Sacramento River has a great source of water, it was muddy due to the runoff of the hydraulic mining. Separating out the water from the dirt took a lot of work. This is the front view of the pumping station from 1923. Yeah. There you go, right there. That's a clip of a picture right there. Right there, see that? Yeah, man. Look at this. A little bit of some history right here. Celebrating clean water. Sacramento's big clear water celebration for New Year's Eve. That was 1924, 100 years ago. Right, on the last day of 1923, 10 p.m., President Calvin Coolidge pressed the button in the White House that electrified Sacramento City Plaza and caused water to gush forth from the fountain, hurdling the completion of the city's new filtration plant. When the plant was completed, it was one of the finest in the United States. With the latest technology, the cartoon celebrates the event and clean water for the city. What are you not cool with, Odds? Are you talking about when, you know, when the Shias dominated and oppressed the Sunnis? Is that what you're saying that you're not cool with? And if you're not cool with that, then yeah, that explains a lot. That explains why. You know, the war in Iraq perpetuated, right? And what basically brought ISIS, to the fold. So, so that's that. Yeah. See, check this out right there, right across, right there. You see, that's where the Oakland A's now play, in that area right there. Look at that. Billy asks, what would you do if somebody tried to run off with your phone? What do you think? What do you think I would do? What would you honestly think I would do? I mean, do you think I'm the type of person that would, kind of, allow something like that, or, or get off on them? I think I would probably get off on them, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that would happen, but it's a fair question. I mean, you never know, right? You never know what will happen. You never know what someone will do. So, yeah, but no, rest assured that's not something I would happen. He says, what would be your first strike? A front kick, right? As they're like kind of running, I would probably do like a front kick or something like that. Like, let me see if I can, do a little bit of like a demonstration, right? Like, so let's say I'm like, running towards them, right? Let's say I'm running towards them, boom, like that. That's what I would do, like something like that. You know what I mean? Like as they're walking or something like that, right? Or I'm running after them, right? Let's say this right here, this front right here, this is someone's back right here, right? That's what I would do. Like, it would just be like, bah, like that. That's what I would do. I'm like, man, give me my phone back, fool. Like, what's up, man? Give me my phone back. That's what I would do. He says, proud of Charles. R.I.P. to the BMF belt. Yes. You know what, man? That right there, I think, ruined the BMF belt. I mean, look, here's the thing, right? By the end of the day, it is still a mixed martial arts fight. You see what I'm saying? It's still a mixed martial arts fight. So, grappling is allowed, but for whatever reason, people were not feeling the whole grappling thing. They were not feeling the whole grappling thing at all. So, yeah, they didn't like it. They didn't like the whole grappling thing, but hey, grappling is part of MMA. He says, yeah, do it further away. We can't see the legs. Okay. So like that, he says, what's not BMF losing? Yes, there it is. That's really what it is, right? He says, I like Greco-Roman grappling is fun. Apparently, not a lot of people, seem to, get a kick out of it. They don't seem to get a kick out of it for, one reason or another. So, yeah. He says, this is almost exactly what I expected. I figured Charles would get the sub. Yeah. I would think so too, What do you think, man? Maybe ask some random people, like, hey, what do you guys think? Should Barron Trump be, drafted, into war, or at least enlist, right? What do you think? Like, maybe enlist. Oh, here we go again. Here's this Emily bitch in the comment section again. What is your problem, bitch? Why do you keep trying to come up in here? I don't know, but I mean, you retracted your statement, so fair enough. I don't know what you said, but Hey, what do you think? Should Barron Trump be enlisted in the military? Yes, there it is. See, we got one right there. So I think a lot of people will agree to that. See, you know, I think a lot of people will say that, you know, because that's what it is. So we got one, you know, so far that believes he should enlist in the military, right? So hold up, man. Bitch, I'm from Sacramento. Street interview. If they're willing to talk, sure. You know, I'm not gonna go and try to stop them, you know, out of their way. But you know, yeah, you know, that's what we'll try to do. You know what I mean? Anybody, yeah, we'll just ask any random people, like, hey, what do you think? You know, should Barron Trump, you know, be in the military or enlist? You know? Hey, my man, Barron Trump, enlist in the military, yes or no? We don't care. All right. He says, I guess Islam really was the one who fell off the White House card. He was supposed to fight Ilya, but pulled out due to a hand injury. Is that confirmed? Like, there really is a hand injury on Islam, though? Like, is that confirmed? And you know, and who you know, who said that? Like, what were the sources that, you know, that sort of confirmed that? Emily, are you out of your mind? Have you seen my workout sessions? Like, you know, I will like literally just shadow box right here, right now. I will literally shadow box here all day long. Like, are you kidding me? Like, bitch, what is you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Like, yo, do you realize, like, I could do this while talking at the same time? Like, what are you talking about in the chat section over there? He says, you should shadow box. That's what, man, boom, 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 huh? Boom, 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 boom. Ba, 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 ba. Hey, all my moderators, get Emily up out of here. You're sent to the shadow realm. Go to the shadow realm. He says, nice little shovel hook right there. Dan is standing handcuffed. Easy views. Just be up in here getting views while shadow boxing at the same time. Come on now. Hey, Barron Trump, should he be enlisted in the military? Okay. Emily, you got taken up out of here. You dumb bitch. He says, you have to ask them for a moment of your time. Okay, talk ish to your trolls, Kyrie. What? I don't know why. I don't know why people come in here and and talk smack. The truth is, none of you in real life, okay, man, woman, or child, or alien, could beat me in a fight anyway. So ain't none of y'all doing shit. So I don't understand why you got to go in there and talk smack, while I'm on my live stream and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, this listen, this stupid Emily, right, who keeps coming in here, this stupid bitch, you know that little thing that I always do, right? How I always say, hey, you don't have $5,000 in your bank account, you got debt high up to the ceiling, you got your check engine lights on, you got underlying health issues, and then on top of that, you can't afford your, health insurance. And it's like this bitch freaking comes in here and then says, I got $77,000 in my bank account. I'm like, well, then if you do, why the fuck do you come in here? Why do you come in here and talk smack then? If you got all of that going on, why do you come up in here and do all of that? They're overweight, eating government cheese. Yes, exactly. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. He says, because they don't have 5K in their bank account, their dashboard is lit up like a Christmas tree. You know what? You came up with that phrase, lit up like a Christmas tree, right? I think you're the one that came up with that phrase. So yeah, shout out to you on that. Coming up with with that right there, man. Hey, what do you think? Should Barron Trump be enlisted? They don't care. He says, let's see a turning sidekick. What do you mean a turning? No. What do you mean a turning sidekick? I don't have anything to land it on, like a bag or, I would probably have to, get, like some sort of person to do it on. You know what I mean? Hey guys, I'm doing a live stream. What do you guys think? Barron Trump, should he be enlisted into the military?
All I know is that things are gonna get better in general.
All right, there you go, man. What's up, man? Hey, are you, you know what? For a second, I thought you were Savvy, that dude. Huh? Yes, for a second. And then I saw you, I was like, no, that's not him. He, I'm like, but yeah, hey.
Hey, real quick, you say that again?
I thought you were Sabby Gabos for a second. Yeah.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
I used to go to school with him, man.
Oh, for real? Where you
yeah.
where you from? Where are you from?
Sacramento, born and raised, man.
I'm from Sacramento. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hey, say what's up to my audience, man. I'm live right now.
Oh yeah, what's up, y'all? My name is Lil Tone 916, man. Sacramento, California, in the building, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, real quick. I wanted to ask you, right? So
Yeah,
the topic of my live stream right now, we're talking about Barron Trump. The president's son.
Okay.
You've seen him before, right?
Probably, man. I know there's a lot going on.
All right, so check this out, man. So he's 6'7", right?
Okay.
Trump's kid. He's 6'7", and then on top of that, he's like, a soccer standout. So he's like a prospect. So he's really athletic, right?
Right.
So Trump is sending everybody to war right now. There's all this conflict going on, and so Trump made some comments saying like, you know what, we had a few troops that died, but so what? It happens. which is crazy to say, right? Like, you don't often hear presidents, say stuff like that.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? So, especially like, it just sounds insensitive, for the most part. I mean, so what do you think, right? Just now knowing his son, knowing that his son, is built like the way that he is, do you think that his son should, enlist, or should he just have a special exemption because, he's the president's kid?
Honestly, I don't think he should enlist.
Okay.
And there's reasons to that, right? Because he might get like a special benefit, just because he's the president's son.
Okay.
And on top of that, it'll be even hard to see Trump's son being a part of the war that Trump started.
Right. Are you familiar with the royal family of England?
I'm very familiar, man.
Okay, so you know Prince William, right? He's married to Meghan Markle, and and his brother Prince Will. So they served in the British military. They fought in Iraq. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and they're like, and they're princes. So that's a little different. Your royalty versus the president's son. The president's son. The president. They leave every 4 years, every 8 years, but with kings and princes, that's forever. They have that title. You can't take that from them unless of course, they get overthrown.
Yes,
but
the bloodline.
Right. So they can't be replaced in any kind of way. So, but they went and served anyway. So that's kind of like the political argument that people have right now. Because I see what you're saying, right? Like that sounds like a reasonable opinion. Me, I don't have an opinion on that either way. I've served in the Marine Corps before, so so it's like I don't mind whose personal choice, especially if you're the president's kid, and I kind of get that. But it's sort of like the underlining topic right now of discussion in the political world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on above our heads, but it's to the point where it can't be hidden no more. You know, they want to keep trying to keep the masses at ease, but too much is going on for us to not know. You know what I mean? And now we're in the age of social media. We can literally see it on our phones. Right. Yeah. And it's just crazy to see like all of the allegations, all of the stuff that the elites do when they're way up there. They don't regard life down here, middle class, low class, anything high class and up. That's all they care about, right? They'll expend anybody from down here. So Trump, he's not gonna care about, let's send troops to Iran or Iraq. Right. He's not gonna care because he's not gonna have to do it. Right, and especially not one of his kids. It's kind of like that 1960s song. It ain't me, I ain't no senator's son. I don't know if you heard of it. It's like a real old school song from back in the days. But yeah, that song kind of resonates with the reality of today. You know what I mean? If you're like a president's son or a senate's son, they don't really ask of you to do that. You know what I mean? But obviously, again, in England, right? One of the princes who was on the Epstein file, they arrested him, straight out, man. Yeah, I heard about that. Prince Andrew. I think he's the only one to get arrested. Right. Well, so far. Right. And that's in England. Here in the United States, there's like all types of senators. Bill Clinton was up in there. All types of people, and nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like nothing happened to them. It's like what are they gonna do? So that's crazy, man. It's actually starting to seem like the war stuff is a big distraction. It seems like a distraction from the files that were just released. Because how can you go from a child predator to war? Okay. And then try to forget what just happened, what y'all just released to the public. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff not making sense right now. I feel like the people are waking up to it. This is the age where we got to come together, man. Yeah. All races. Yeah. That's true, man. And you know what? I think a lot more people are awake now. Because
I mean, yeah, I think the internet has something to do with that. You know, the information out there is easier to, you know, kind of, you know, comprehend. It's easier to kind of take in. You know, whereas, for example, you know, I don't want to mention this outright because, you know, it's like online. So it's kind of like, but there's this one country in the Middle East, right? You know, let's just say that, you know, their country's flag is blue. You know what I mean? Let's just say they're Kanye's ops. You know what I mean? Yep. Okay, so okay, so Kanye's ops or whatever, right? You know, for a long time, a lot of people supported this country because, you know, it was a common knowledge like, hey, you know what? They are the friends of the United States, right? But nobody ever asked why they're the friends of the United States, right? When I went to, you know, overseas, when I've traveled to like, you know, Egypt, you know, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Iraq, all these places, right? When you talk to those people, they will often say, hey, you know what? Israel is the #1 problem in the Arab world. Right, you know, this is what they'll say. But that idea was not really like resonating in America yet. You know, and then of course Kanye, you know, did his thing, you know, with what he talks about. I mean, it's kind of, you know, kind of crazy his approach on it. Yeah. But in a way, he was kind of trying to awake people to you know, to that idea. So, you know, the Arab world was up on it, you know, in the mid 2000s and the 90s. Now it's like there's very little support for that country anymore. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people in America are, you know, are kind of, you know, trying to ask our politicians to kind of pull out of their, you know, lobbies and their influences and whatnot, you know?
Absolutely. Everything to me is one big strategy, you know, because every place, every country, continent, they all have their advantages, you know? So I feel like everything that's going on now, even what went on over there, it's all strategic. They're trying to stop this to block this from over here, you know?
Yeah,
so let's say, you know, China or something, you know? We got a lot of stuff from them, but they need a lot of stuff from America as well. Right. I'm not defending America, right? But I live here. So this is the research we have to understand.
Right. It's sort of like you don't want to be against other people, but then you also, you know, don't want to be against yourself and your self-interest as well. Yeah. You know, because it's kind of like Pac said back in the days, right? You know, they got money for wars but can't feed the poor, and man, you know, that those lyrics still, you know, resonate till this day because, you know, you look at you go around like Sacramento, you know, there's like all these, you know, tents and, you know, and people, you know, sleeping outside. You know, there's a lot of people sleeping in their cars, you know, but yet we're spending like billions of dollars, you know, just to drop bombs, you know, in Iran. Somebody in my chat asked, you know, hey, he said, I like this dude. He says, hey, ask him if you know anything about combat sports. Oh, yeah. So I'm a combat sports channel. I used to fight MMA, so I cover MMA as well. But I also cover politics. I also cover, you know, California gang politics too. On top of that, sure. So I, you know, I kind of delve into those subjects. So they want to know, like, if you have, you know, any interest in combat sports or if, or anything like that, or just sports in general.
Yeah, man. I love boxing. I've been up on boxing for the past 5 years.
I covered that too.
Man. Okay. Even just growing up, my older cousin always taught me how to wrestle. You know, I never took it professionally, but I know a couple of things, you know, just off of self-defense aspect, right? But right now,
Sacramento, our city here, we're known for MMA. You know, that's what brought me out here. Was because there was a lot of like real big gyms out here. I trained with Uriah Faber.
At his
Team
his
Alpha
gym
Male Gym, yeah. So so this and not just him, I mean, with that group of people that I trained with, they branched off, started building their own gyms, and so now Sacramento is like a big MMA town. It's a big boxing town too. Obviously if you remember from Diego Corrales, one example. Floyd? Diego Corrales did fight Floyd. Yes, he did. Yeah. I remember Floyd, mentioning that before. He would always say, God rest his soul. He was one of my toughest opponents. He did fight Floyd. Yes. So Diego Corrales, and then a whole list of names, from before, that used to fight out here. So this is a big fight town. You know what I mean? It's like it's known for that. So so it's good that you kind of carry that tradition of learning and you know what I mean, and all of that. You know what I mean? So that's what's up, man. You know?
Sure, man. I even have a close friend. His name is Demetrius. He used to box. Man.
Okay.
He was nice
Demetrius,
with the hands,
would that happen to be Demetrius Andrade?
Nah.
Oh, okay, you know who that is, right?
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I remember even going here to Tom's Watch Bars, watching Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney.
Oh yeah,
Turned out, Ryan pop dirty,
Oh yeah.
Watching Javante Tank Davis. There's a spot downtown called Henry's Lounge.
All right, there it is, Henry's
favorite,
Lounge,
favorite
y'all.
spots to watch the fights, man.
Yeah, man. You know what, man? When
quick little tip.
Yes, yeah. When I was younger, there was this place down here, the Shenanigans, which is right across from Doku.
Okay.
Right? They used to, have all the fights out there too. They would have, all the UFC fights. Some of the Team Alpha Male guys would go there and show up there too. If, especially if it was one of our guys fighting like, overseas, or if they were fighting like out of town, and it was on a big pay-per-view, we would all, pull up there and, and watch the fights there. So yeah, man, there it is, guys. As we got, a huge tradition of, of this being a fight town, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
man.
like how Boston is a fight town, just like how LA is a fight town. Well, LA is a fight town for, numerous different reasons, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? But yeah.
And one thing I can say about Sacramento is we might not be as globally known as like the Bay or LA and shit, but we soak in everything. So you talk to one of us, you'll be surprised to understand, like, damn, you guys got your own culture, you got your own personalities out here,
Right,
but we embrace everybody in California.
That's right, yeah. And and you know what, that's sort of like, in the description on my channel, right, I say, this is a real West Coast channel, Sacramento, California represent. That's the first thing that I say on the description of my channel, right?
Yeah.
Real West Coast channel, Sacramento, California represent. Because you're right. I think that Sac is very underrated because in California, we have the Bay and then there's LA. It kind of overshadows everything. But then if you think about it, bro, listen, all the B's and C's down in LA, when they go riding, right? You know who they're playing in their car? Mozzie. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
That's who they play. They play Mozzie. And, and even down in Long Beach, bro, because I got some, cousins down in Long Beach, as you know, man, they all play Mozzie, but I think that's because of his collaboration with Stupid Young and the Asian Boy Crips. So I think that's probably like a big reason why. I mean, he's damn near, an ABC member, really. You know what I mean? And that's Mando right there. You know what I mean? But I know all his homies in Oak Park. I'm really close with all those dudes in Oak Park. You know what I mean? His homies, and a lot of them are big supporters of my channel. A few of them I had on my channel a few times. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's a really unique town, unique culture, and I think that it is underrated. But man, that's why I try to do this, because I want to put Sacramento on the map. You know what I mean? I want to be one of the top 3 of Sacramento. You got Uriah. He put MMA on the map, and then you got Mozzie. He put Sacramento rap on the map. Of course there was others before him. Obviously, Brother Lynch, was really big out here. Sibo, was really big. X-rated, but Mozzie is man, he's world renowned. Like, even people in England know who he is. They rock out to his stuff. Buick to Benz, all that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
yeah.
man, absolutely.
And then Savvy Gabos, that's why the guy that I'm mistaken you for.
Gabos.
So how do you know? You said you went to high school with Savvy, right?
Yeah, it was the same high school.
What high school did he go to out here?
It's a school right around the corner from JFK.
JFK,
it's a small school, man. So it's engineering school.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
School of Engineering and Sciences, man. So shout out to that school, man. Shout out to that school.
Yeah, man. So, all right, man. Listen, tap into my channel. It's El-Kheer, El-Kheer MMA. So this way you could see this later, and then you could clip it up. Let me see what they're saying right here. He says, Barron literally can't be drafted. By the way, he's too tall. Is that right? Man, I don't know about that, bro. Listen, when I was in Marine Corps boot camp, right, we had to do body drags, right? And the one dude that I had to do a body drag on was this 6'5". I mean, maybe, yeah, he was 6'5", but bro, he was heavy. You know what I mean? Like having to body drag him. And by the way, it was a body drag where I had to be on mount position. So I had to be on top of him while trying to drag. It was like that, so I remember it was like, I was looking at all the other guys. I'm like, man, they had smaller guys to work with. But me, I'm sitting here and I'm here with this like super heavyweight dude that's like 6'5", dude that was like size of Anthony Joshua and all that.
Oh, hell no.
So I don't know about that. I don't know if he's too tall because
there's a lot in you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know if he's too tall because obviously I was in there with some taller guys in, in Paris Island. So it's Khai. Khairy. Space. AB. AU. Oh, I'm sorry, ABU. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, ABU. Space. El-Kheer.
It's Instagram.
Oh, no, not sorry,
TikTok,
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me copy and paste it from over here. Then.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, gonna refresh. Nope. Here we go. Hey, that's one rare name, man. What's your race?
Kyrie. Well, I was born in Libya. But my dad is part Egyptian and Saudi, and then my mom is Pacific Islander. That's how I know all the ABC dudes,
Wow.
in Stockton and LBC. So
hey,
yeah,
that's why I never judge a book by its cover,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's how I know all of Mozzie's people and all that. So,
You gonna type it in, brother?
oh yes.
Got you.
Yeah,
man,
so-
man, so I make music myself. I do content creation.
Okay, good. Yeah, clip this
arts.
up right here, man. Yeah, that's me right there. And then yeah, there you go, right there. So there it is. That's us right now in this one right here. Draft him. That's that's us right now. Yeah, that's us right now.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, we're live right now, man. He says, what was your 0311? And then that was back in the mid 2000s, man. But yeah, listen, I don't think just to let you know, man, I don't think he's too tall. I think he's he's more than capable. Hey, my man, Barron Trump, should he enlist in the military?
Everybody should.
Everybody should.
Except for us.
Except, yeah, I'm too old now. I'm 40, so yeah. Oh yeah, see, yeah, I'm 40. Yeah,
No way.
yes,
God
I'm
damn.
40. Yes, hey, it's the martial arts lifestyle. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Just trying to stay healthy and all of that. And then obviously I'm fasting for Ramadan right now too. So it's kind of a good way for me to like live stream and kill time. I usually just do content like at my house or while I'm in my studio, but. Here I am. I was like, man, you know what? Let's take this out in the field. You know what I mean? See if we can run across some, interesting folks. And then here you are, man. What was your name?
My name is Lil Tone 916.
Little Tone 916. Okay, this is your page. Okay, Little Tone 916. All right, Charles. Hey, listen, tap into homie's page right here. This is it right here. Just so you guys see it right here on the screen. Little Tone 916. That is the homie right here that we are tapped into right now. And yeah, man. Says since you are in infantry, we'll talk about that in another time in another place. But yeah, man. So all right, so you do music too, right? Okay, so that's good. So let's promote your stuff. So tell us about your music and what the style and what type that we could expect from something like that.
Most definitely, man. So with the name Lil Tone, that name came from my father. He passed away. He used to be a Marine,
Oh, wow, okay.
They call
All
him
right.
Big Tone.
Okay.
You know, so he's watching over Lil Tone, and honestly, I'm here to set a new tone to the city, man. Rap, R&B, it's gonna be crazy, man.
Okay.
Gotta be a outside personality, kind of like how you're doing as well. So I just want to bring a new sound to the city, man. So we got a lot of rap going on, so I want to kind of bring something else to the table, you know.
Yeah, no, we definitely do, man. You know what I mean? Like, the rap out here in Sacramento, it is unique, bro. Like, when I listen to Mozzie, right? Like, okay, so he kind of keeps up with a little bit of that West Coast sound, too. You know what I mean? Also,
yeah.
Selly Rue. That's also one of my favorite ones, Selly Rue. You know, a Dead Man Walking. What was the other one? Kill Everybody. Oh my God, man. Yo, that thing pumps me up when I hear him say kill everybody. You know what I mean? Kill anybody song.
Going,
yeah, bro. You know, that gets me pumped up. But I notice there's still the maintenance of that West Coast sound, you know, pumped into it. You know what I mean? Like that wonk. You know, that whistle, you know, sound that you know, that Dre, you know, sort of developed. And then I noticed, though, a lot of, you know who keeps up with that sound, right? That G-Funk sound. A lot. LA, but specifically, okay. I notice it's mostly Mexican rappers that are sort of keeping up with that style more.
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Like that beat that.
Yes.
Okay.
They're more inclined to, you know, whereas like, you know, the black artists in California, they tend to, like Roddy Ricch, right? Like, if you listen to Roddy Ricch, he doesn't strike you as a West Coast guy. But, you know, everything about his biography, you know, he's an LA guy. He's really from a set, you know, so it's like everything about him is like, you know, LA as they come in his biography. But his music, you know, he sounds like an ATL or a Chicago guy, you know, and I think that just has a lot to do with, you know, the sound of, you know, of Little Durk and, you know, and King Von, you know, and all those guys, you know, like really influencing, like, you know, the country worldwide, you know. But when it comes to West Coast, you know, I just noticed that, you know, the Northerners and the Southerners are, you know, like really, you know, inclined to those types of beats. You know, where would you say your style, you know, lands in a comparison to that?
Honestly, I can do almost any style, really.
Okay.
You know, I'm very confident in my musical abilities.
Okay.
You know, I'm very affluent in that. So me personally, I've been listening to a lot of R&B type beats. So I would go with Four Bats. You know, he got a lot of good R&B records. I like West Coast, a lot of Jacquees.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I like to mix it up for sure. You know, and try to find exclusive sounds and then build off of that. So Jacquees, Four Bats, you know, Chris Brown, T-Pain kind of beats, West Coast kind of beats. So all of that in like a West Coast umbrella.
Okay, good. Okay, that's man. Yo, listen, I'm really looking forward to hearing you. In the meantime, bro, listen, take my number down. Let me mute this up so that nobody could hear me. You know. All right.
Good, brother. It's all good, man. Glad to run into you, man.
Yes, likewise, man. Likewise. So,
I got a red bike performance coming out really soon.
Okay.
I should drop it next week, as a matter of fact.
Here you go. So that's my phone number right there. It's a Jersey number, but yeah, that's my number right there. No, don't hit it up yet because I'm live. Okay. All right, good. Yeah. That would have interfered my live. Hey, it's all good. Some homies be calling me while I'm like live, and then I'd have to like, you know, but it's all good. But yeah, that's my number. You text me so that this way I could, you know, get your number as well, and you know, and we'll collabo and all that. You know what I mean? And I got some homies that do beats as well. I think you might want to meet them. You know what I mean? To help you out on that. So hit me up, man. You know what I mean? And we'll get connected. Yeah. And then all right, brother. All right, Little Tone. Have a good one, man.
Nice to meet you, Kyrie.
All right, man. And you know, any handles that you want to you know, shout outs to you know, the audience out there right now. Any handles that they want to check you out on?
Right now, you catch me on Instagram. That's the main page. YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Apple Music, okay?
And I show you guys the screen of his YouTube channel, Little Tone 916.
LILTONE 916.
That's right. Bitch, I'm from Sacramento.
Yeah, big shots, a couple packs of minnows. You might get popped up on an accidental backpack full of straps and zippos. That's bro. That's
right.
Bro, man.
That's right. All right, Little Tone, you have a good one, man. All right, y'all see that, man. You know what I'm saying? You always run across, some real cool people out here, and I'll be definitely seeing the homie soon. Yeah, man. Shout out to all you guys out there that were tapped in live on this one. You know what I mean? We in here. Yup. All right. So he says Barron is 6'9" maximum height. Oh, so he's 6'9" now. So he's not even 6'7", huh? Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. He's 6'9", bro. Damn, bro. All right. I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, let's get the... Yeah, Safety Buddy says he won't be drafted as well. He will volunteer. Barron 6'9" maximum. Oops. Yeah, okay, so what is the minimum then? Right? What is the minimum then? Yeah, what is the minimum? What is the what is the maximum? So it's not 6'7". Damn, that's crazy, man. But yeah, man. Let me put on my seatbelt here while I give you guys a bit of some tour of Sacramento out here, man. I'm from Sacramento. Okay, let me read some of these comments right here. He says, I like this dude. Oh, yeah, man, he's awesome, right? You know what I mean? There it is, guys. You know what I mean? That's why never be afraid to go outside. Hey, listen, here's the biggest lesson out of all this, right? Never be afraid to go outside, and also get yourself out there, man, and, always network. Always network. That is the one key thing that I could teach all you guys out there that are in the content creation space, right? Always get out there and network, right? Because if you network and you put yourself out there, good things will happen. So, yeah, man, inshallah, man, good vibes, man. Yeah, I can see why you like him, Marty. You know what I mean? He's definitely cool. Good vibes on that dude, and I'm definitely gonna be out there supporting his music and what he got going on, because you know what, I support local Sacramento artists, and that's what it is, man. So to answer your question, MP, anybody who's 0311 in the mid 2000s, I think has I think everyone in that field has. Look, man, in the mid 2000s, it was almost a guarantee that you were going overseas. Okay, that's the one thing about it. But yeah, those are some really interesting opinions, right? Look, I happen to be in the opinion that I think Barron Trump should go. All right, now you heard my man right there. He said no, he doesn't think that he should, because he feels that he's a little bit too important, and that's that's true, man. Barron Trump is important in terms of being the president's son, but at the same time, he's like, yeah, I would love to hear more about your time over there. I have so many questions. You always keep it real. Yeah, man. Look, let's just say that. Yeah, dude. You know what, bro? It's nothing nice, bro. That's all I gotta say about that, bro. It's not nice at all. You know, that's the best way to put it. You know what I mean? Nothing nice. You know, nothing that you want to, nothing that, yeah, man. It was a big stain in our country's history. Okay, that's the best way to put it. He says, draft your dumbass. How about this? How about I send you to the Shadow Realm? And boom, you got sent to the Shadow Realm. I mean, what a really dumb comment. Like, that's a dumb comment. You understand how dumb that comment is, right? Man, people just feel brave coming in here, just, you know, talking smack, bro. He says, damn, let the man troll. I love when you go at them. Look, yes and no. Yes and no, Marty. Let me explain why, right? Sometimes it's not worth engaging because you kind of see where that was going to go. Like, he's already talking about, like, hey, you know, they should go draft your dumbass, right? After hearing the type of conversation that we just had, he says, draft your dumbass. You know what I mean? Like imagine that. Like, he says, draft your dumbass. I'm like, did we not just have a conversation about, you know, X, Y, and Z? Like, man, what an idiot. So I didn't feel like I should have entertained that in any way, right? I felt like entertaining that would have just, I don't know, man. It would have done no good for anybody. But yeah, man, love being out in the field when it comes to the content creation stuff, man. You know, love being out here with you guys, though, because you guys do motivate me to, you know, sort of, you know, do different stuff. You know what I mean? Act in a different way, sort of get turned up, you know, and get excited about this. So, you know, and not only that, hey, you know what? It makes time fly by rather quickly. That I will say, it makes time go by quickly. So, you know, that is one thing that I can appreciate about it. There it is, guys, right there, Golden One Center, where the Sacramento Kings play. There it is, the pride of Sacramento. And right there, the old mall that, well, is sort of dying nowadays, right? Mall culture is sort of dying nowadays. You know what I mean? So, yeah. The malls are dying because our economy is dying, and yeah, that is the unfortunate truth and reality of it all. He says, I hate basketball. Well, the Golden One Arena, that's, you know, they also have had fights there. You know, they had a UFC fight up there before. They've had concerts up there. So, I mean, yes, it is mostly for basketball, for the Kings to play, but it's not the only thing that they use it for. So, you know, here we go again, guys. A bridge right in front of me right here. Sacramento, California, represent. And then right up top right here, we're going to see where the Oakland A's play. So there it is. I'm going to show you guys where the Oakland A's play right here. Right here, Sutter Health Park right here. This is the stadium of the Oakland A's right here. He says, I didn't know that, I didn't know until recently it was a real thing. I thought it was just something Khabib did with the guys. Oh, we need Dagestani basketball. Okay, he says, yeah, NBA and NFL are way too soft. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing, right? That whole entire purpose of Dagestani basketball is just to work on grappling. it's a fun way of working on grappling without thinking about grappling, if that makes any sense, right? Because look, what George St. Pierre and Faraz Zahabi said is that, you know, sometimes daily training can be very redundant, right? And what does he mean by redundant? Meaning that, you know, you're just training all day, you're doing the same things all day, you know, it become very stale, right? But if you do something a little bit different, you know, add some game into it, right? Obviously, the aspect of, you know, scoring, putting the ball in the hole, right? That's sort of the reason why. He says, no, it's a real, oh, it's a real sport. Is it really? Wow, okay. Well, it doesn't seem like it's getting a lot of traction. I mean, you know, I saw them play it. I didn't know that that was a real sport that they actually do, man. You know what I mean? I had no idea that that's an actual sport that they do, which is crazy. So, yeah, man, that's interesting, man. You know, hey, and you know, yeah, it's like their NDA over there. Okay. Basketball is still big in Russia, though. You know, there are guys that do get drafted in the NBA from Russia, or at least Eastern Europe. I mean, I know Lithuania, I think, is a big basketball country. But yeah, you know, I don't know about, you know, other sports. He says, yeah, I didn't know either. Like I said, I thought it was just something Khabib. Yeah, yeah. Hey, speaking of which, you know what's good about, you know, running across that guy? You know, he's also on social media. He's also on YouTube. So that's always a good way to sort of market yourself, you know what I mean? And collaborate. And that's the thing I got to tell you guys, you know, when you are with people out there, when you're with people out there, you know, you got to go out there and really market yourself. You know what I mean? Market yourself and also network. That's an important thing that you have to do is network. You got to learn how to network. You got to learn how to pretty much talk to people, right? And yeah, collaborations, it's an important thing. So Victory says, well, maybe that's the wrong example, but it's a real sport. Well, yeah, I didn't know it was a real sport, man. But okay, I wonder if they can transition into basketball, right? If there's a way where, like, all right, hey, you know what? You're kind of good at the shooting aspect of this. Also doing it with the pressure of people tackling you or taking you down, and yet you can shoot at the same time. You know, maybe there's some, yeah, maybe there's some beneficiaries to that in some kind of way, man. You know, man, listen, we got a lot of people in here, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I probably got about, I don't know, maybe, you know, close to 1,000 views on this one. Oh, maybe just a little bit under. But anyways, yeah, man, you know, get some likes up in there, guys. You know, I you know, I don't beg for likes or anything like that, but, you know, I was out here in the field for you guys, was out here interviewing, you know, a rapper, a local rapper in Sacramento. I thought he looked like this rapper named Savvy Gabos, right? And then I later realized that, you know, he was actually friends with him. And, you know, I mean, you know, they're friends, kind of makes sense. You know what? Everybody here in Sacramento got dreads for some reason, you know what I mean? But, yeah, he says, thoughts on Logan Paul calling out Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, who is that again? Remind me who Myles Garrett is again. Before I head out, remind me who Myles Garrett is and his significance to all of this, just out of curiosity. Who is Myles Garrett and what does he do? Who is my daddy and what does he do? Remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with Kindergarten Cop? But yeah, remind me who that is again. Oh, defensive end for the Cleveland Browns. Ooh. Do you respect the follower Ali? If you're talking about one of the companions of the Prophet, yes, of course. I think I know where you're going with that conversation, Coles. I think you're sort of going into a conversation of what do you call it? What is this conversation? Like, you know, Sunni and Shia conversation. But going back to what Victory said, Cleveland Browns, wow, okay, so 6'4", 270. You know what, man, I reckon Logan could probably still take that guy. If we're talking a boxing match, sure, I think Logan could get him. Even in an MMA match, I think, yeah, I think Logan could get him. I think Logan just needs to learn how to kick, right? If he learns how to kick, you know, I think he could have a good chance of at least being a pretty well-rounded MMA fighter, right? Him and Jake don't really have a good kicking game. Angel says, God bless America and our president, inshallah. Connor Siller says, 6'4", 270 is wild. LOL, I'm pretty big at 6'3", 225. Wow, man, you're a big Irishman, Connor. I didn't realize, yeah, you were that big, but okay, that's awesome, man. He says he benches 500, squats 700, best DN in the league, and here's the catch. He trains at Strong Style, ooh, with Stipe Miocic. Okay, all right, I may have to rethink about that a little bit, man. I may have to rethink that a little bit. I think there's a good chance, yeah, he gets him. He says, Victory says, you're my size, Connor. Okay, so you're right around 6'3", 220. So you're about, you know, a real light heavyweight, really, you know. He says, yeah, I did my 23andMe. I'm actually 40% Irish, 40% Scottish, and 20% Dutch. Okay. Okay, that makes sense, man. You know, that makes sense. A lot of Irish people are mixed with a lot of, you know, the types that are in that part of the world, you know. So, you know, that kind of makes sense. He says, yeah, I walk around anywhere from 220 to 235. Yeah, man, I've never seen anything past I've never seen anything past 205. Like, that's the most I could get up to is 205. But yeah, 220. Yeah, you should be right around there at, you know, at 6'3" and whatnot, you know. Same here, Victor. Yeah, y'all some big boys, man, you know. But I tell you what, if I ever fight MMA Guru, oh, good Lord, yes, you know, you would be the perfect training partner for me if I ever fought MMA Guru. You know, I still want that fade, man. He says, I was 320 at my heaviest, LOL. Damn, bro, 320? Oh, so would you say that MMA sort of helped you lose all of that? Is that, you know, is that a fair assessment to make? Like, MMA sort of helped you, you know, cut down from, you know, from being that big? He says, I was an offensive lineman. Okay, yeah. At 320, now, obviously, I don't know a lot about football, you know, even though I played like one season of football, you know, just to, you know, kind of, you try something new, and also just to see if I could do it. And yeah, you know, usually I notice that guys that are really big, they put them in the, you know, offensive lines and whatnot. So he says, yes, it absolutely did. When I started, I was probably 255. Dang, bro. Okay. You know what? It's always the heavier guys that have this ability to lose a lot of weight, right? Like, okay, I'm 200, right? That, you know, that's the most that I get up to, 200. For me to get down to 170, it would be like harder for me than it would be for you at 320 to get down to where you're at. You know, and then here you are 100 pounds later, like you literally like lost 100 pounds, man. You know? He says, I can lose and gain pretty easily. I could get fat really fast as well, LOL. Okay. So, all right, yeah, that's, I guess it just, you know, kind of really is dependent upon, your body type. But okay, yes, you do have that body type where you can lose weight easily and gain easily as well. And yeah, okay. Connor says, I can drop to 180 in a couple days just from my wrestling days. Hey, so you went to high school here, right, Connor? Did you go to high school here in America, or did you move here to America when you were older? Like, what was your trajectory? He says, what weight do you compete at, Connor? So Soyman says, in a draft, you all would be drafted. Your weight won't be much of a factor. Yes, San Diego. Okay, so you went to high school in San Diego. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I got a Filipino homeboy in San Diego named Frankie. He's in the Coast Guard. You know, but and then I also got you know, a homeboy, you know, who's also Filipino, by the way. But he grew up in the East Coast. He went to the Navy, and then he lived down in San Diego and never left since. He says, oh, didn't mean to put the wink in the face. Okay. Okay, the little winky face thing that you did. Okay. Yeah, man. So, man, guys, man, this has been a really awesome live stream, man. Really awesome live stream. You know, we got to talk about, you know, the draft. Obviously, kind of give you guys my opinions on that. You guys gave me your opinions on that. Ran across a few people, did, you know, some street interview. I guess, yeah, I guess you could say this is a street interview, right? So, he says, only children play these what if games suit if games. Well, what do you mean by that, Barnes? Explain what you mean by that. Connor says, and now I just compete at 220 when I do BJJ comps. It's not worth cutting weight anymore. Yeah, man, you know what? Cutting weight is so not healthy for you. He says, junk, there is no draft. Dude, I think you just came in here. So let me explain my premise on this, okay, about the draft. I said Barron Trump should be drafted, but it doesn't mean there's a draft going on. You understand? It doesn't mean there's a draft going on. What I will say is that there's enough people in the U.S. military and in the U.S. period that want to join. Okay, so a draft is not needed. We're a very violent country. There's a lot of people out here that are down to commit violence legally in the name of the military. So that's that. All right. He says, yeah, good live. That dude was really cool. Yeah, man. Inshallah, we'll do more collaborations in the future. I sense that, you know, me and that guy are going to do some collaborations in the future, you know, whether that would be through YouTube content or maybe hooking him up with one of my homeboys that's, you know, that's with, what do you call it, that has some beats, you know, some people that I know, you know, that are in the music space. Or, yeah, he says, didn't you fight to Connor? Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Connor says, plus I'm 32. I'm 32. I have to compete with other 30-year-old. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, see, in BJJ, they sort of segregate you. That's what they do, right? They kind of segregate you through age in BJJ. That's the thing. You know, they segregate you through age in BJJ. So, yeah. Ooh, man. I just dodged a cop on that one. There's a cop right around here. He's kind of like, you know, sort of hiding in the cut or whatever, you know, trying to look for someone to give a ticket to, man. He says you should try to grapple strangers. What? Grapple strangers? Oh, you mean like what that Giorgio guy does? Like, you know, $1,000 for... He says, or anyone will, or see if anyone will box. Yeah, like Adam Saleh, right? The that Palestinian kid, he used to do that, right? He would challenge people in like these, you know, random boxing, you know, street boxing events. Says, no, brother. I have only competed in wrestling and BJJ. I've done hard Muay Thai sparring, but never actually a sanctioned fight. Okay. Yeah, man. All right, guys, listen, with that in mind, that is all that I have for this one right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Been a really good live. I will see you guys in the next one. Inshallah.